Man, Bojangles and
Welcome to CTV Sports. I'm Dale Schwetz with Steve Lane, and we're live for the Grand Cherries Polo Club. Field number 2 for the finals of the 2023 Eastern Challenge. We have two very special teams with Casablanca and Travieso. But before we do the introduction of the players, I would like for everybody here, ladies and gentlemen, please remove your lids to stand for our national anthem and my man, Tom Blake.
Oh, say can by the dawn's early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaked, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Yeah, thank you, Tom, as always. We love you, Tom Blake. Thank you. Been a part of so many finals here. But let's get it going because we got both teams out there ready to go. We're going to start with the team on the right. They're in the pink today. Ladies, always first. Please put your hands together for the number 1 for Casablanca, Melissa Ganzi. We call her Melly. She is amazing. She is the visionary. I'm telling you, keep an eye on her. She's been scoring goals. And the way they work this team, she's unbelievable. Playing in number 2. Well, we all know Mark Ganzi, a.k.a. the Cobra. And the Cobra wants a little bit of Travieso, I think, today. This should be a fun one. He's ready to rock and roll. You know him. We call him NR. His name's Nicky Roldan, highest-rated American player. He will captain the team, and he has been destroying the ball, hitting it over 120 every time. Keep an eye on him. A little rotation switch, but 3 Ganzis is better than 2, so put your hands together for the ambassador of Casablanca, Grant Ganzi. We call him Double G. He has been fabulous at the number 4. Well, you know, I've been building the Casablanca team up, but I'm going to give just as much love to the team in the white, and they're called Travieso, and this kid has been playing very well at the number 1 position. I believe until they switched it around here, I believe it's going to be Michael, right, playing number 1. Yeah, put your hand together for Michael Kaye, who has had a fabulous spring season. Michael, good luck today. This should be a big one, buddy. Playing the number 2. Well, he has been the destroyer, and he's been working out all year long. You got to put your hand together for Nito Mariano Uranga, and he is a force to be reckoned with. The number 3, and he is the Papa Bear of the Kaye family, scoring goals from left and right. Wearing the number 3 today. Put your hand together for Teo Kaye. And, well, Mr. Steady Eddie, he had a wonderful World Polo League. I love you, Tomato Pietras. You know it. Keep an eye on him. He will captain the team from the number 4 position. There's your Travieso team with Tomato Pietras wearing the number 4. The man in the yellow and white stripes is Gaston Dorniak, top umpire in the world. And we have had a joy to work with this man, so he will do a fabulous job up there. My co-commentator is Steve Lane. We will be working as the second and third man today for this final. Steve, what do you think?
Well, it looks like we've got all the ingredients for the recipe for the final of the Eastern Challenge. So players just having their last-minute remarks, warming up their ponies, and Senor Dorniak is ready to get this game underway. 6-checker match, 7 minutes, 30 seconds each period. And here we go. Playing on the flat. And both of these teams, Casablanca won in a 6-checker match on Friday. Travieso won the 9-checker round robin, and that's what brought these two teams together. So the field, I don't see a blemish on it anywhere. It looks fantastic. As you mentioned, Dale, we've had some rain, and that certainly helps things out. And we are underway. Michael Kaye getting a little piece of it. Now Mark Gansey picks it up, carries it a little bit further along. Mark Gansey trying to go to that south goal. Teo Kaye right behind him, and Mark's going to hit it downfield, trying to find Nick Roldan. Nick Roldan just out in front of Tomacho, and that ball's been just a little bit wide to the right-hand side.
Yeah, and here you go. Early on, Travieso going to dodge a huge bullet, as this is a little different play as they're sending Nick Roldan forward early in the game. Usually the Casablanca team, they start out with Nick launching the big hit, but today they'd have them running through, so we're going to see all kinds of different combinations. Both of these teams will rotate all day long. Here comes Travieso. Michael on the move.
Kaye headed towards that north goal, followed up by Nick Roldan, and Kaye working the ball along and just able to get it towards the outside, and so we'll have a knock-in, the first knock-in right here for Casablanca. And we'll see who brings this ball in, whether it be Double G or Nick Roldan, but they're having a little discussion right now on Double G. Umpire calls play, and Grant Gansey dribbles it in once, putting it back in play, and over to the right-hand side where he's got Mark Gansey out front. Tomacho Pierre is there as well. Mark plays near side, up play. And now Tomacho turns it back towards the inside. Tomacho, he's going to release the ball upfield where he's got two white jerseys. And right out front, Michael Kaye is going to jump on the loose ball. Kaye with a neck shot right through the goal for the first goal of the game. What a play, Dale, right there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. The Travieso team shutting down the offensive attack of Casablanca. And the Kaye boys, Teo and Michael, keeping the pressure on Gansey. So Grant's going to have to figure out how to deal with those two. They will rotate in the front of the game. We've noticed different rotation by both these teams. As I said, Melly's going to stay out in front there, and you got to be careful because when Nick connects with Melly has been about 99% on her shooting, and that's good shooting by Mrs. Gansey. And so on the Travieso team, good way to start here, getting Michael involved early. 5:23 on the clock, 1-0. It's going to be Melissa.
Gansey looking downfield where Nick Roldan was breaking for the pass, and that pass falling just a little bit short. Tomacho picks it up, gets around Roldan, and leaves it behind for Uranga. Uranga hammers one downfield, and Nick Roldan coming in there, as well as Teo. Teo trying to get it back up to Son Michael, but that ball pops out over to the side where Tomacho jumps on it, carrying it towards that south goal. He's out front. He's got 4 horse lengths on everybody, and a goal scored again for Travieso at the south end. So 2 players in white putting goals on the board.
All right, yeah, so mixing it up well, and this is what you want to do if you're Travieso. And you Travieso fan, where you guys at? Get behind your team when they score. Give them a little love. Give the energy. Because I'm telling you, Casablanca, when the wheels get moving, you need to watch out. There's so many different ways, Steve, the Casablanca team can score. We saw that on Friday, but, the Travieso team is very similar. So a 2-goal jump is going to help out here before the Kersey change. Nick Roldan on the move.
Roldan on the near boards over here and lets Michael Kaye go by, and now Uranga comes in to put a little pressure on, and Roldan releases the ball back towards the goal mouth where 3 white jerseys are, and Travieso picking the ball up. Tomacho does get by Roldan. Tomacho with a full swing, able to get the ball out front, but nobody home but pink jerseys. Melissa going back to play a little defense right here, going to turn it back and back it up. Nice little play right there. Back to Mark Gansey, and now Teo Kaye picks it up. Nick Roldan's going to carry it forward on the near side. He's going to allow his team to regroup and then fire a big shot downfield, and that ball deflected off a pony, but Roldan didn't lose his turn, but we're going to have a whistle right here for a courtesy change, so we'll come back with a fair play bowl-in since Casablanca was in possession. Great time for a courtesy change, and Dale, it's sunny, little clouds here and there, but so far we're in the sun, so it's rather a little bit warm today, so courtesy changes coming into play, and what a great move.
Yeah, good call here. And this is what you like to see, the courtesy change called without one penalty, called here in the first 4 minutes of our first chukker of play. They'll give everyone the opportunity to change their four-legged athlete. Now, on Friday, if you missed our game, Travieso just dominated the round robin, winning both sides. They actually beat Santa Rita by 1 goal, 3-2. And then they came alive against Fly Polo, winning 6-4. Or 6-2 actually, and then just a very strong showing on Friday, Travieso. On the other side, Casablanca, they got in a war, you could say, with Sebu Khan, Pablo Polito, Gene Goldstein, Fred Mannix, and Jason Crowder. Played very strong. It was 9-9 at the end of the sixth chukker, and then the Cobra scored right at the end. Melissa had 3 goals on the day on Friday. Mark had 3 goals and the winning goal. Grant had 1 penalty and was 100% from the line, and then Nikki Roldan scored 3. So good shooting there by that team. And then if you look at the Travieso team, very similar. Michael Kaye had 3. Michael's been very, very, very focused and high percentage shooting from the penalty line, making 2 penalty twos. Teo had 4 goals and 3 goals in the 6 chukkers, Steve. A hat trick, and that's how they pulled out the win. And then Nito did not score, but he causes a lot of destruction in the middle of the field. He is working hard, and Tomacho had 2. Very evenly based team.
Both of these teams having a strong second half, so we'll look for that to happen today as the Fair Play Bowl-in starts off, and Nick Roldan puts one way downfield. Teo Kaye, the ball still on the field, just off to that right-hand post, and Teo Kaye backs the ball out of danger. And now, Tomacho Perez hitting that ball down the field. One more time on that gray pony, trying to get it, and it's deflected off of Pony, and now a little pop fly. That ball will stay on the field. Nick Roldan will go back to retrieve it. Roldan with a powerful neck shot over towards the center of the field. And now, Teo Kaye going back, turning that ball, being communicated with by Tomacho Perez. Tomacho surveys the field and sends a shot over to the left-hand side and looking for a player. Grant Gansey able to reach back and pick that ball up, but it helped out, and here comes Michael Kaye in there. But Nick Roldan breaks things up, and now Grant Gansey, he's got the ball right out in front of the opponent's goal. Gansey successfully turns the ball around and hits a shot over to Nick Roldan. Roldan on the fly right here, and Roldan sending a shot down for Melissa Gansey, and Melissa able to jump on that loose ball, carrying that ball forward on that black pony that she rides, first chukker all the time. Beautiful pony. Melissa still on the ball, out in front by 3 horse lengths, carrying the ball towards goal with a long shot, and that ball just off to the right-hand side. So bad luck there, but Casablanca on the attack.
Yeah, no, that's what you want to do, though. They got it lined out well. Melly's going to stay out there a good 100 yards, which means they're going to have to sacrifice a player. And they're not going to probably do that. They're probably going to try to take on the 3 other players. But the problem is when Nick hits 130, then Melly's got 40 yards on everybody. And she has been very consistent. Nice run there. First shot just off to the right. But that is a designed play by Casablanca. So Travieso is going to have to turn, and they're going to have to adjust to that play, Steve.
They are, which they can do. You remember, they've swapped up positions a little bit here today. Teo started playing number 4 the other day and then swapped to number 2. Today he's got the number 3 on his back. And a little tail shot right there, and Tomacho picks up the loose ball. Tomacho going in the opposite direction, but he's going to run the turn on the offside over to the near boards here, and Mark Gansey going to come in and put a write-off on him, and now Nito Uranga. Grant Gansey there putting pressure on Nito. Mariano going to turn it back towards the outside, trying to keep it going to get around Grant, which he does. He has broke loose right now. He has 2 horse lengths on Grant Gansey with a long shot downfield looking for Michael Kaye or Teo, both of them there. Teo takes the hook of Roldan, which allows Michael to come through. Grant Gansey coming through as well. Gets a back shot off, and now Nito Uranga turning that ball back around on the near side. Time running out. First horn has gone. And that ball left behind. And Nick Roldan gaining some yardage here before the second horn with 20 seconds left. Now Melissa Gansey coming back to get that pass from Nick Roldan. Sweeps it back to her offside and now has the ball on the offside with a run. Clock winding down. Melissa Gansey still on the ball. Grant's going to break down the field towards the center. Melissa still on the line with a shot, and the second horn on its way. So what a nice move, and that's going to leave the ball right in front of their goal.
Oh, that's going to work well there, even though there wasn't a goal scored. Within the 30 seconds, Casablanca is going to gain, an easy 275, maybe 280, 300-yard long polo field by 160 yards wide. The next bowl-in will be right in front of the goal. Well done, Melly. That's the way to end that chucker. Stay with us. 2-0 as Travieso takes the lead. We'll be right back here after this commercial break on CTV Sports.
We were excited to start. The field was amazing. We knew that it was a really tough team that we had against. Mark always puts a really strong team in the field, and it was Gilberto's first game, tournament, and everything. So happy that he did good. I used to play a lot with Pablo when I was younger. We were cousins, and we played a lot of kids tournament together until we played the Open together. Then a few years we play against each other. And now, we had the opportunity to play back again, and it feels really good. I have a lot of connection, and with Alejandro, I played last year here with Melissa. He's a great defender, a great back. He plays really simple. He understands the game really good, so he makes things simple. And Gilberto, I think he had a really good game. Yeah, I think yes. Well, this is a single elimination tournament, so winning today was keeping one foot in the tournament, so it was really nice now that we have another game in the weekend to keep playing, and yes, a lot of fun.
I know 'cause I try asking. Now I see through your habits, just like gadgets. You tell me with the two hands, I'm too bad. Wonder what you think's I like. So sit down, listen, think for a minute. Know it might be hard 'cause you're uneducated. Break down, face it, breathe for a minute. I'm about to help you with your manners and respect.
Well, welcome back to CTV Sports. I'm Dale Schwetz with Steve Lane. I want to welcome everybody here to the Grand Champions Polo Club on a beautiful Sunday, spring Sunday, 2023 Eastern Challenge Final. If you're just joining us, a little late here on CTV Sports, we got Casablanca in the pink jerseys, Melissa Gansey playing the 1, Mark Gansey playing the 2, Nick Roldan playing 3, Grant Gansey playing the 4. So 3 Ganseys with Roldan. Travieso, they're in the white jerseys today, and Michael Calle's playing the 1. Nito Uranga Mariano is playing the 2. Teo, and I like it, wearing the 3. I don't usually see Teo wear the 3, but he has been playing all over. He played a great back on Friday, and then Camacho Piedras playing the back. Steve, I think that maybe they adjusted. They adjusted the way that they wanted to play against Casa, because we had Teo at back, and he played great at back. Then he rotated to the front and scored 4 goals and 2 chuckers. And here we go. We're going to get a quick goal at the beginning of the second chucker. And as I said, a big shot by Roldan to Melissa Gansey at the end of the first chucker. Melly had the opportunity to get it inside the 40-yard line. So that gave Casablanca a huge advantage here to start out the second chucker. 2-1, 6:50 on the clock.
A good example of leaving the ball on the field to start Next period of play and a goal, and now the bowl in, and Teo Kaye gets the ball out of the bowl in, but Nick Roldan's going to pick it up, and then a tail shot, and Melissa Gansey on that gray pony jumps right on it with a one shot down the field, followed up by Michael Kaye. Unable to keep it going the second time, but Mark Gansey following through, hits the ball back up over to Melissa. What a nice play right there by Casablanca. Melissa with a shot, cut shot open, and now checks down, able to get the second shot off and the shot on goal. Mark Gansey coming through to finish things up, and Mark scoring a goal right there. So Casablanca coming back 2 goals strong right here with a minute and a half into the period.
Yeah, that's the way you take the energy and keep it going. Score down on the far side, win the bowling, get the offensive attack, and line out very well there again. Melly on the gray pony, gets out in front. Good coverage there by the Cobra, dropping in behind her into the rumble seat. Melly's approach shot off to the right side, but kept it on the field. Easy goal for number 2.
You betcha. Tying things up, a set of 2s on the board as the players come back in front of Gaston Dorniak. Dorniak wings that ball in, and Nick Roldan picks it up on his side, looking downfield. Unable to get that cut shot off, but no worries. Grant Gansey's going to follow him up. Gansey checks down, brings it back to the right-hand side where Teo doesn't have a play. Gansey topping that ball a little bit, allows Tamacho. Tamacho intercepts that ball. Tamacho staying just out front of Mark Gansey, unable to keep it going, but don't worry. There's Michael Kaye following through. Michael up to his father. Teo decides to back that ball over to the center of the field, picked up by Gansey. Gansey now bring it over here to the near board, straight across the field. Checks down. Knows he's got players behind. Playing the ball off the board. Nick Roldan breaks downfield. Gansey with a shot right up. Parallel with the boards, right close. And Nito Uranga turning things back around. Waiting on Gansey to clear. And Nito with a strong shot. Looking for Michael Kaye. And Teo up there as well. Teo takes out an opponent. And that's going to allow Tomacho to back the ball over where 2 white jerseys are there waiting. Teo not quick enough to turn around. Nick Roldan picks up the ball, unable to keep it going, but Grant Gansey in behind, and now Michael Kaye takes the ball over to the boards. Grant Gansey's going to ride him off and steal the offside back shot. And now Tomacho with a near side back shot. That ball not quite far enough where Roldan's going to pick it up. Roldan on a flyer, has Melissa downfield, and Roldan taking it over to the right-hand side. Taking it down, unable to get it over to the left, but Melissa, she's going to still be able to get back to that ball and take it towards the goal, just off to the left-hand side. One more time ought to do it. And that ball hits the goalpost, backed out of there by Nito Uranga. So a close call right there for Casablanca.
Oh, you kidding me, man? On the run, and this game is opened up to full running and gunning as Travieso will work it back across the center. Turned back here by Grant Gansey.
Now left for Roldan, and Nito Uranga meets the play and breaks things up. Who can get wheeled around? Uranga and Nick Roldan both wheel and deal, but Uranga is going to win the play. He broke his mallet. He's trying the handle. We've got a 4-on-3 situation, and now Roldan breaking on through. Roldan sees Melissa down front. He's going to put a little approach shot up, set up for Melissa. Melissa, one time on that gray pony, is going to take it to goal. And now a shot, but left on the doorstep right there. And Michael Kaye in there as well. Melissa comes back, takes a stab at it. Backed out of there by Michael Kaye. Over to the other side, and that's going to allow Tomacho turned around by Roldan. Teo comes in and breaks things up. What a nice play right there by Teo Kaye. Teo Kaye on the move. Tomacho says, stay up, I'm coming through. So we've got 2-on-2 up front with Tomacho on the ball. And Tomacho still bringing it along. Not giving Grant Gansey a play. He's going to go on by, and Gansey's going to turn around, and we've got a whistle where we will have our courtesy horse change after all that running and gunning, Dalio.
You tell me about it. There you go. Another courtesy horse change. This is the perfect final. First shucker, they had to stop the game after 4 minutes of running. Now they're going to do 4.5 minutes of running, and you talking. You need an oxygen tank again?
Almost, yeah.
Okay, well, I'll bring one up here for you. We'll call the medics. We'll get you an oxygen tank. Yeah, just another clean, wide open running game. Both teams with opportunities here in the second chukker to score goals down in front, but great defense by both teams. So the offense is working, the defense is working. Very clean, two organized teams right here, Steve. We knew that. We saw that on Friday. Spring season has been wide open. You know, spring season based on, of course, full-bred, just straight out running, gunning, open polo. Great place for new players to learn how to play polo with professional players, and also a great place to teach the four-legged athletes, especially the young four-legged athletes, and the amount of embryos and just amazing babies that we have in the game of polo now. And when I say babies, I'm talking about the four-legged athletes. And we do have some babies to play, actually, too, these days, which is amazing in our lead line class. But, yeah, it's a great place to get it done right here, just showing you an example of it. Gaston Dorniak doing a great job officiating our spring season. That's why we use one umpire. As I said, Steve and I will work as 1 and 2. Steve will be the second man. I'll be the third man if we do need help on a call. We can go to the studio there, too, where we have Jordan in there. He'll be able to give us feedback, give us a replay if we need to look at something. We haven't had to do that this spring season because the games have just been so fast and open. I think you're going to get a fair play bowling here. I believe the Casablanca team looked like they had control, Steve.
Yeah, it'll be a fair play bowling, and that was confirmed by umpire Dorniak. So, right where the ball was, and both teams will line up. The ball will be bowled back in over towards the team in pink. Just a little tack adjustment going on here right now before we start play and start the clock. So umpire Dorniak just sorting things out here at the last minute. All players back on field on fresh ponies, and umpire calls play. So here we go. Nick Roldan going to send it down the left-hand side over to Mark Gansey. That ball up against the boards. Gansey's going to check down, rake it off the boards, try and get things going. Allow a teammate to get downfield. Grant's going to break downfield. Melissa over in towards the center. He pushes it back towards Nick Roldan, the big ball hitter, and Roldan fires one down the field where Grant gets it on the near side. However, Michael Calle coming through, unable to make contact, and now Uranga fires it back over to Calle. Grant Gansey checks down on that open shot from Michael Calle, and Gansey with the back shot, deflected by Uranga, but picked up by Roldan. Roldan now checks down, turns the ball underneath his horse's neck. Legal play in polo. And now fires a shot over towards the center. And here comes Tomacho Perez. Tomacho. He looks downfield. He's got Nito breaking downfield. Michael Calle as well. Teo Calle closing the back door. And now Tomacho. He's still got time. He's going to allow Teo to come on through. Teo with a short little shot where only he can get back to it. He leaves it for Uranga and heads downfield. A nice give and go right here by Travieso, the team in white. Mark Gansey up front beats Michael Calle to the play on the offside. And now Roldan checks down. Nito Uranga in there putting pressure on him. And now Nick Roldan fires the shot downfield. But Tomacho with an offside back shot, and now over in the center of the field, Teo on the near side, and now Michael coming in front, picks up the ball. There's our 30-second horn, and Michael Calle working the ball, and it's going to go over the back line and in chukker number 2. So 2 chukkers down, 4 to go. We'll be back for the third chukker before halftime. Stay with us right here on CTV Sports.
We're here at the Santa Rita Polo Farm where the PTF Polo ASSN Junior Tournament is being held for the first time ever at this location. And I mean, could you get a more beautiful venue? Probably not. The tournament includes players of all ages, starting with the youngest at just 2 years old and the oldest at 20 years old. So you've got all ages, all skill levels, and a whole lot of fun. Let's go check it out.
reminds me of my days when I was in that position playing the kids tournament, and for us it meant the world. So I'm very happy to be here supporting my son and other kids as well, because I think they really enjoy this, and for them it's even more important than for us probably playing the 26 or the 22.
Well, that's a wrap on the PTF Polo ASSN Juniors Tournament at the Santa Rita Polo Farm. So much incredible talent coming up through the ranks. The future is certainly bright for the sport of polo. Now, for more information on the PTF, head to polotraining.org. And, of course, head to Chucker TV for all of our awesome content, including full game broadcasts.
Welcome back to CTV Sports. I'm Steve Lane, and with Dale Schwetz, we are at Grand Champions Field number 2 for the finals of the 2023 Eastern Challenge Final.
There you go, 2-2 after two chuckers. Very close final. We figured we'd see this type of battle today. Both teams very, very well organized. They match up very, very well. They know each other well. They know how they each play the game, so I wouldn't be surprised in the second half you see a lot of different changing around. As we said on Friday, Teo Kaye was playing the number 4. By the end of the game, he was playing the number 1, and he scored 4 goals in the end. So good switch from Travieso on Friday to get their spot here in the finals. Now, Melly scored 4 goals for Casablanca, and then Melly switched around and went back to the back. So they almost went like the opposite. Teo went forward, and then Melly went back. And then the middles have been kind of, well, you got to keep an eye on it. It's kind of like a chess game. It always changes. And so, Steve, you got me, man. I mean, I'm not sure how to call this one. They're gonna have to be adjusting. 2-2, very close. Great game to watch.
Yeah, and remember, both these teams scoring a lot of goals in their second half. So I think we get through this next period, and then we're going to see an entirely different game in the next 3 periods. But right now, here we go with a knock-in from Casablanca and a back shot there by Uranga. Teo Kaye is going to come over and back it once again back towards center. Nick Roldan's going to try and get by Michael Kaye, and Nick Roldan working it towards that far corner of the field. And now Nick Roldan slowing things down, backed up by Grant Gansey. Has Mark Gansey over to his left. Melissa over in the center of the field. Doing a little cat and mouse right there. And now hits a long shot downfield looking for Mark Gansey. But Uranga back there as well. Who's going to win that right off? And Uranga breaks things up, allowing Tomacho Pierres all alone right here to turn that ball towards the inside of the field. And now Tomacho Pierres sends a shot downfield looking for Teo Kaye. Teo Kaye unable to pick it up on the offside, but Grant Gansey now picks up the loose ball. Going to turn it back towards the outside. Nito Uranga going to come through and try and pick his pocket, which he does. What a play right there by Uranga. And Uranga with a bouncing ball hit towards goal, but just off to the left-hand side.
Yeah. No, Grant trying to get around there. Clean play by Nito. I like the non-call, but released it quickly there. Goes off to the far left side to the far post. That's going to set Casablanca up here in the pink jerseys. They'll switch around. It has been Grant Gansey and it's been Nick Roldan to take the knock-ins. They keep Melly and Mark up in the front. Right now, the Cobra's going to rotate. Uh-oh, here comes Nicky.
Roldan out front, and Uranga on the inside. Roldan taking it straight down, parallel with the boards, and now fires a shot, next shot, but not quite enough angle on that ball, so that ball well wide to the right-hand side, so a knock-in coming Travieso's way.
Yeah, but we've seen this a lot last night. We saw it on Friday. Be careful when Roldan drops his shoulders and starts running forward. The speed of the game picks up. The rotation will change because Melissa will fall in behind Nick. So we've already seen a few more chess plays started here early in the third chukker.
And Pierres puts one over to Uranga. Uranga giving the ball back to Pierres, but Nick Roldan's going to flip it from his near side to his offside. Oh, and once again, Tomacho picked the pocket of Roldan. Teo gets a little piece of it. And now Mark Gansey coming through as well. Unable to keep it going, and you picked up once again by Uranga. Michael Kaye is going to break downfield. Nick Roldan coming in, and that allows Mark Gansey to pick up the loose ball. Gansey turning it back towards the outside, and Tomacho Pierre is paying playing a conservative number 4, and Mark Gansey on the fly right here. Mark Gansey down the left-hand side, letting that pony open up. He is well out front. It looks like the rerun of the Preakness right here, but there's 8 horses instead of 7, but Gansey's going to come across the wire first, so Casablanca putting another one on the board.
Oh, yeah. Put your hand together on this one. This is what we're talking about. This is a good call. I like the Preakness call there. That was cool. That's the way to do it, though. But Gansey did this last Sunday. When the Cobra gets going on some of his favorite horses, he's been unbeatable right there. Great play by Nick Roldan on the hook. Melly was there for the miss. But the Cobra takes that ball on a full, well, not coast to coast, but a good 250. And he took it in there with full speed. And I like the thought process, Steve, not to check down there. Sometimes you get running full speed on a horse that fast. You go to check down, the horse gets a little bit wobbly. Keep the horse flat. He's very comfortable. It's an awesome finish.
Yeah, sometimes you check down, that horse jumps a little bit, it upsets your timing. So, that flat horse, when they're flat out running, that's the easiest time to hit the ball. And, of course, when the horse's hind legs leave the ground, that's where you get the power in the shot.
School of Carlos Casita, to tell you the truth, that's when I learned it. I learned it at early age from Carlos Casita. Bless his heart. We love you, Carlos. Always looking down on us. And, he's been one of the big believers in that. And that speed, but again, I like the whole idea of keeping Melly way out front. Tamacho doesn't know what to do. Did you know that? Tamacho was kind of trying to play in between, and because Melissa was out there, he couldn't get to the Cobra.
Yeah, he didn't know whether to go to the Cobra or
go back to
he knows he's going to expect the big pass, but it's a question of when.
It's going to be an amazing chess game to watch today. And that's what we loved about the spring season, so we hope you've been enjoying it as much as possible. You can get a lot of 101, Polo 101, Polo 102, Polo 103. We might even jump to Polo 105 today here on CTV Sports. We know we got a lot of players that have been watching the spring season and, just learning the game of polo at a higher level. There are polo schools all over the nation. We have our polo school, which is just finishing up here and getting ready to move to Aspen, Colorado. You go to AspenValleyPoloClub.com to get all the information on the Aspen Valley Polo Club, where we will be starting in July. Got a good look of all the players right here in front of you, everybody. Put your hands together, everybody, for all the players right here. 4 minutes on the clock, 3-2. What a final we got going on here today here at the Grand Champion Polo Club, field number 2. We got one more player coming back out. Steve, I don't know. What's the next play? I mean, possession is big in a game like this. It's close. But what transitions do you think you might see?
Well, the bowl-in right here, I mean, this is an important bowl-in, as all of them are. But, so far we haven't had any foul shots. And, the second half, when, as I mentioned, these teams both scored a lot of goals in their second half on Friday. So with that pressure coming, we might see a few fouls, some players going into plays that maybe they shouldn't have. And, of course, Mark Gansey deadly on those 2s and 3s. Nick pretty good at the 4s. Tamacho deadly on the 2s and 3s as well.
Yeah, so is Michael. Michael's 100%, and so was Grant Gansey.
Camacho agreeing with us out there, and he says, even the 4s I'm good at.
Oh, yeah, you better get ready, because there might be a few. I agree. It might get a little physical. It might get a little racing and rubbing here. And the tighter this game gets, here we go. First bowl in, and controls going to Travieso.
Nito Uranga coming up with that ball out of the bowl in, and now sends a shot straight down the field, straight towards goal, and Tamacho Pierre is going to break down the field, but Nick Roldan's going to win the right-off and have the ball on his offside, and now with a tail shot over to Mark Gansey. Mark Gansey out front enough to go to the offside on that play, staying just out in front of Michael Kaye. Gansey still in possession of the ball, sending it straight along the boards, off the boards. Gansey still on it. Michael Kaye coming back with him. Now Gansey's going to check down and override, and that's going to allow Uranga coming back in. He knows where Michael Kaye is, and now Uranga flipping that ball on around, trying to get by Gansey. Gansey allowed to clear out of the way, and now a nice pass back over towards the center of the field for Tamacho Pierres. Tamacho one time right up to Teo Kaye. Teo right out front. He hits a nice shot. Teo Kaye now goes to the near side. Grant Gansey slaps an offside open shot over where Nick Roldan jumps on it. Now Michael Kaye back with Roldan. He's got 2 white shirts back there with him. Roldan giving his team time to set up downfield. And now Nick Fires a long shot downfield over towards the center, and Gansey reads the play very well. Jumps on it, but just overrides, and now Uranga. Little open shot over towards the far side. Unable to keep it going. Who's got the handy pony right here? And Melissa Gansey coming on that line with a back shot. Looking for a pink jersey, but she's going to turn that ball back towards the inside of the field. Nick Roldan going to come over and run some interference and back her up as well. And now Roldan and Mark Gansey heads down the field, as does Melissa Gansey, and a shot. Downfield, Michael Kaye couldn't quite get on it. Told to leave it by Nito Uranga, and Uranga all by himself over here on the near boards. Uranga looking downfield as well and fires a line drive right up to Teo Kaye. Is there any Kayes in the house? Oh, Teo unable to keep it going. Michael gets a piece of it. Here comes Nito. Nito says, I'm on it. Stay up, boys. I'm following you up. Nick Roldan coming in there as well. And a whistle by the umpire, so we'll see where he decides to place that ball.
Wow, power polo at its finest. Both teams is driving the ball here. Nikki hits 130 to get Casablanca going, but great defense by Nito Uranga to take the ball out, get it going. Teo starts pulling the team, as I told you here, Steve. This is where you're getting a different change in the game here. Teo wearing a 3, but now going to the number 1 position. So a little bit of a strategy change by the Travieso game. I like the thought process. Teo scoring 4 goals in the last 2 chukkers of the round robin and getting a hat trick in the last chukker. So we know Teo's got his eye set on the goal. Full speed there. Again, a chukker where, well, you want to call it the Preakness again? You want to use the Preakness term because we just ran and ran and ran for a good 5 minutes there.
We did, but right now a little break in the action with tack time, and when we come back, we'll resume with a penalty 2. So Teo Kaye getting a little help there from Nito Uranga. Just sorting things out.
What do you got down there? You got a clean play on that one down there on the far end? Looked like Nito hit a big ball.
He did, and Michael Kaye came over, but so did Nick Roldan.
So the clean or no? Foul?
No foul.
Foul on the play?
Crossing after the shot.
Okay, so remember the line of the ball. It is an imaginary line. 80% of the time, everybody, that is the play that's called. It is, okay? Looks like we're going to go ahead and take a little break here. We got tack time going on. So stay with us here on CTV Sports. We got 1:40 left in our first half, and we'll be right back after this little commercial break.
My favorite part about AVSC is seeing all my friends. I have so many friends here at AVSC and USASA, and don't know what I would do without them. Just hanging out with my coach. Hanging out with my coach would be really fun too, but I just need friends too, you know? Everybody needs friends.
AVSC is like a really fun place because you get like jump new friends and get to ski a lot of places.
When you see kids, they are smiling, they are happy, they are laughing, they are telling jokes, they are just glowing with excitement, and that just makes me feel confident that we are really doing something right, and that's really what it's all about.
You know, this is ABFC's largest fundraiser for our club, you know, and I think the true importance of this is we're making a conscious effort to make sure that kids in the Roaring Fork Valley have the opportunity to get on snow, ski, and snowboard.
So I've been a part of the Aspen Valley Ski Club since I was 10 years old, and growing up in the valley was a really special experience because you're open to so many different opportunities, and one of which is being able to ski. And I never really thought that my dreams would come true, but now Aspen Valley Ski Club has allowed me to ski for a living, and I can never be more grateful for being a part of the club.
We love ABSC! We love ABSC!
Welcome back to Grand Champions Polo Club and CTV Sports. We are starting with a penalty 2, so we are ready to go after that little break in the action. So a penalty 2 in favor of Travieso. And just waiting for field crew to clear the field, and we'll get back underway.
Very good. A little tack time there.
Yeah,
Get everybody lined out. We're talking about the right-of-way violation, and that's, like you said, 80% of the time called on the polo field. Remember the right-of-way. It's all about where the ball travels. That's the imaginary line. You cannot impede that imaginary line. Here comes the first open goal of the day. It's going to be Michael Kaye.
Michael Kaye sending that penalty two right on through. So Travieso tying things up here on that penalty two here in the third period of play. So his second goal of the day. And
100% from the penalty line.
yeah,
I'm telling you, Michael, he had an amazing spring season. And
you're talking about the season, not just today.
Not just today, on the season. Yeah, I got to talk to his mom. And he said, he was playing up at SMU, and then he just got really busy in college, so he didn't have an opportunity to play as much. Great to see him back on the field. He's had a stellar spring season, Mike. I think Steve been right on top of everything. And we got, how good he is on the near side. We don't have
well, that came. Is he playing at SMU? If so, that's where that near side came from, was the arena. Probably.
I guess, you learn to learn near side. Yeah, playing in the arena. But here you go. Nick Rodan's got the Cobra out in front here. Cobra overrides one time now. Loose ball play. Nice play by Tamacho. It's got to be Michael on the gray. Overrides, tail though, Dad backs him up. Nicky's going to get in the middle of it. 30 seconds coming. Here we go. Nick Roldan's shot on goal. Taken out cleanly here by Tamacho. Travieso's going to have an opportunity here at the end of the first half. You're going to get one more run. Michael's going to jump in front of Grant. Well done. He's got Teo on the move. Kaye on the near side. He'll override. Michael's got time. 14 seconds on the clock. They still got time. Teo looking for the center shot. That'll work. Here comes the Cobra on the turn. Taking it out. 3 seconds left. Shot on goal. And wow, what a run here by Travieso to end our first half. They're not going to get a goal, but the penalty shot by Michael will be the equalizer. So 3-3. After 3, we're going to send the teams off for a halftime break. Enjoy yourself here at the Grand Champions Polo Club, and thank you for joining us here on CTV Sports.
We're here at Santa Rita Polo Farm cooking an Argentine-inspired fire meal for the Ganzi family. We have a 4-course meal tonight, and everybody will be tasting the food that we cook on the fire. We're here in Wellington at the Santa Rita Polo Farm. It's a beautiful place that we've come for several years. We love cooking here. The combination of our fire cooking with the table set next to the barn and to the horses just creates a beautiful atmosphere, and we love coming here and creating experiences every year.
Well, welcome back. I'm Dale Schwetz with Steve Lane. I want to welcome everyone back to the Grand Champions Polo Club for the finals of the 2023 Eastern Challenge. We're in our second half of play here. If you're just joining us for our second half, we have Casablanca. They're in the pink jerseys today. Melissa Ganzi-Melli playing one with a nice goal there by Tamacho Piedes here in the Ford Chucker. Mark Ganzi's playing the 2. Nick Roldan's playing the 3. Grant Ganzi playing the number 4. So 3 Ganzis playing together here this year. And Travieso in the white jerseys with Michael Calle and Teo Calle. Michael's playing the 1. Teo's playing the 3. Nito Mariano Uranga is playing the number 2, and Tamacho Piedes is playing the number 4. It's been a very wide open, clean running game here. First goal of the second half scored by Tamacho Piedes, making it 4-3, 6:33 on the clock.
Melissa Ganzi gets that ball out of the bowl in and now fires one downfield where Mark Ganzi is just unable to get that pass, and a back shot out of there by Tamacho. Nobody there but Grant Ganzi, and he's going to send it back over to Nick Roldan. Nick Roldan on that gray pony. He's going to turn it one time and set up an approach shot, but who's the first back? Michael Calle with a nice cut shot, staying on the field, and that surprised me just a little bit. That was a nice cut shot. Followed up here by Tamacho, and Tamacho, he releases it over towards the center, but once again, Nick Roldan there tries to get a back shot over to Mark Ganzi, but it's picked up by Nito Uranga. Uranga got 2 Calles down front. Nick Roldan, the first to the ball. Nick Roldan doing that Nickaroo turn towards the inside. Mark Ganzi's going to break downfield. Melissa's already up in front of the goal. Nick, he doesn't quite get the angle on it, but Mark Ganzi's able to get to it. Ganzi going to dribble it back over towards the goal. Couldn't keep it going, and Tamacho with a near side back shot. Over to Michael Calle, but it's picked up by Nito. Nito on the near side, back over to Michael. But Michael going to be off the boards, and a nice play there by Michael Calle. He's got Father Teo downfield as well, and the white shirts are on the move. Grant Ganzi with a back shot, breaking things up. Nick Roldan and Tamacho. Nick Roldan, bad luck there. Couldn't quite get the cut shot he wanted. So, a change of possession right here in favor of Travieso.
Yeah, cop on the pitch, and that's just bad luck because he had Melissa by herself. Tamacho, he cut the angle off nicely. But Nick, I think he's trying to go off the boards there, trying to use the boards as a 5th player, which you are allowed to do in the game of polo. Ricochet off the boards and then make the next move because he had Tamacho standing still. But they'll get the change of possession, and Steve Lane, look at this ball by Tamacho Piedes inside the 30-yard line. Everybody hooked up on defense, shot on goal by Nito. And there's the high flag, and look at this, Travieso coming out strong here in the second half. 2 goals before the courtesy change.
Now with a 2-goal lead, 2-goal advantage, and Travieso scoring at that south end. So all players coming back to the play center of the field. 4:10 on the clock, so umpire's saying one more, and then we'll do the courtesy change. Actually, they're going to decide to take that courtesy change right now. So Travieso, as we mentioned, Dale, they're a second-half team, and they've scored 2 goals here in the first half of Chucker number 4.
Yeah, no, you got to keep an eye on them. They've come out with some power plays, but you also got to remember that the Casablanca team had 2 opportunities there. They got the ball down in front, inside the 60, at least like getting the 40, call the 30 the red zone in the game of polo. To all of our new players out there, as I said earlier, the field's 300 yards long, 160 yards wide. Remember, that field, you can put 9 football or soccer fields in the area of one polo field. A lot of people don't believe that when they come here. They look at it, they say, what? And if you ever been to the Dolphin game or any football games, you notice the size of the stadiums makes things look different. But the area, you got to be careful. The ball can be hit 150 yards. I've seen 165 in Aspen, but they say the altitude helps. And it goes 120 miles an hour. They clock balls at 125. So if you're a baseball player and you love a 90-mile-an-hour fastball, well, let me tell you about polo. You're running 35 to 36 miles an hour when you're at top speed. You got balls running around you about 80 to 120 miles an hour. And you need to hit that ball with your right hand. It could be an adrenaline pumping sport, and I think that's the attraction. But you got to remember one thing. Those four-legged athletes, that's what brings everybody together in the world of polo. We love our ponies. So I want to give a big shout-out to all the trainers and grooms around the world that take care of those four-legged athletes. Without the four-legged athletes, we can't play the game of polo, and that's why we take so much care in these beautiful animals that are out there playing the game. I always say that the polo pony is the toughest discipline for any horse. You have horse racing, you could compare, we could talk. You have jumping, you have dressage. But polo is the one sport and that actually has the four-legged athlete working at all levels. They're doing dressage, they're jumping, and they're horse racing out there. So the polo pony is a special animal, and we all love them, and that brings us together to see these beautiful animals, and it has been an amazing game here. 4:04 on the clock. Everybody on fresh legs. Steve Lane, this is when the goals come.
This is it, and Casablanca winning this bowl in, and Double G firing a shot downfield, couldn't quite reach Mark Ganzi, and now picked up by Tomacho Pierres. Michael Calle staying there with Mark, doing a good job, marking his man, and now Tomacho fires over to the left-hand side for Nito, but Melissa Ganzi in there to break things up, and now Nick Roldan intercepts that pass, and Roldan couldn't quite keep that bouncing ball going, and a back shot there by Nito Uranga, and Teo Calle going to come in and meet it, but Mark Ganzi met it as well, and he's going to win the play, and now Mark Ganzi checking down, he overrides. Teo Calle coming in there as well. Picked up by Grant Ganzi. Now, Tomacho Pierres. Tomacho Pierres getting by two Ganzis, and Tomacho down in here to this corner. He's got some work to do to get it back over the center of the field, and he's going to cut it, but not quite enough angle, and that ball is going to run over the back line.
Yeah, 3:05 on the clock, and Casablanca dodging a bullet here. A little bit of a misplay, broken play, we call it in the game of polo, when two players ride over or miss. And what we've noticed lately, especially with the courtesy change, is when you do have a broken play in the game of polo, the opposing team usually scores a goal. They're going to dodge a bullet here, and they got a nice knock in here by Grant Ganzi. Double G on the far side. His dad's going to pick this up. It's going to be Mark Ganzi. He looked like he's on a flyer. The Bay Pony, Mark, out in front of Michael. That's a nice approach shot. If it stays on the field, Cobra looking for goal number 2. He drags it in, offside, near side. And, just wide to the left, Steve-O. True breakaway.
Yeah, Casablanca taking it off the back line and all the way to the other end line. So just unable to put it between the uprights. And, Dale, you mentioned how fast that ball travels. You certainly don't want to get hit by one because it'll put colors on your skin that don't exist in Maureen's shirt.
That's what I said. You always talk about the guys that get hit in baseball and how they get all fired up and fight. Well, people, you don't try to hit each other with the ball, of course. But if you do come to a game or tell a friend, always keep your head on a swivel because like baseball, on a foul hit, the ball will leave the field at times, and it's always hard to see the ball through the bottom of a glass. So be careful. Keep your head on a swivel. Looks like we got time out here with 1:53. 2-goal difference. Travieso, Steve, taking control here in the Ford Chucker.
Yeah, they certainly are. And we had a buried ball on that last play, so we'll have a bowl in from the center to the boards. And umpire Dorniak throws the ball back in to the players. And now, who's it going to be? It's going to be Nito Uranga working on the near side, and he's got Nick Roldan on his offside. Nito still maintaining control. Nick Roldan coming in there, taking it forward. Their mallets meet, and Grant Ganzi and Teo Calle coming in there as well. And now Nick Roldan taking it the long way around. Mark Ganzi's going to break downfield. Tomacho Pierre is staying back. Michael Calle going to stay with Mark Ganzi, but Melissa way out front. Everybody forgot about her, and that could have been a mistake as Melissa fires a 73-yard shot right down in front of the goal. Will it stay on the field? Can she get back to it? It's still on the field, and I bet she's going to turn that ball underneath her pony's neck, take it back towards goal. Michael Kaye in there, but no play, and Melissa scores at the south end.
Woo! Put your hand together, Melly. That's power polo at its finest, and this is how they design. That's a play by design. Nick Rodan busts the far side, hits a good 120 again. Melly's got room to work, but what an approach shot. A little different style than Melissa Gansey usually attacks the goal. Hitting one good 75 yards just off to the right, but legal play in the game of polo. You are allowed to turn the ball to the left. That put Michael Kaye in a bad position because he cannot meet that play unless you are on the far right. So, well done, Melissa. That's just a perfect way to go to goal and finish there. Must-needed goal, making it 5-4 as a clear. Here it comes, your 30-second warning horn. And here we go.
Uranga. That ball goes all the way through the bowl end, and Uranga picks it up on the backside. Not much time left, and he sends a worm burner down along the ground, and Mark Gansey up there with Teo Kaye. Met in there by Grant Gansey. Kaye reaches way out, but Nick Roldan intercepts things and gets it going, and Nick Roldan on the line. We are going to end with a whistle, so we'll see what umpire Dorniak decides when we come back for Chucker number 5, and stay with us. We're at Grand Champions Polo Club Field number 2 on CTV Sports.
Foot golf is a kind of life, and also it's a combination about golf and football.
So I got into sport through social media. Someone approached me on Twitter and said, have you tried it? I'd never heard of it at that point. So I went to my local course and tried it and just completely fell in love with the game.
This is not as easy as it looks on your body. It's a lot of kicking. We don't normally kick this many hard kicks in soccer.
For me, this and the U.S. Open are the 2 top U.S. tournaments. It's something we all look forward to every single year.
Great fun, and I think everyone will enjoy it when they try it. You can't not have fun.
When you set goals at the start of the season and you're able to achieve them at the end of the year, I think I can speak for everyone and say when we set goals and we make the sacrifices that we make, which a lot of people don't see, and then it all comes to fruition, it's a good feeling.
I literally live, breathe football.
When I founded the Taqueria 48 years ago, the goal was to service polo players fieldside and carry a complete line of polo equipment. Since those early days, we now carry everything for the horse and rider. Anything goes on or near a horse, you're likely to find here in our store. We still have polo equipment made by polo players for polo players.
Welcome back to CTV Sports and the Grand Champions Polo Club. In between periods right now, Chucker number 5 headed our way, so we ended that period with a whistle and a right-of-way violation on the play, so we'll start with a penalty 5B in favor of Casablanca from the center of the field. Casablanca in the pink with Melissa Gansey, Mark Gansey, Nick Roldan, and Grant Gansey. Playing against Travieso, Michael Kaye, Nito Uranga, Teo Kaye, and Tomacho Pierres. Yep, we're ready to go right here for Chucker number 5. And Nick Roldan having a little chat with Mark and Grant Gansey. Looks like Nick will go back to put the ball in play, sending all 3 teammates downfield. Teo Kaye going back on defense, as well as Tomacho and Nito and Nick. He sends a ball well downfield, 145 yards, and Michael Kaye coming back to back the ball back over in the center of the field, and Grant Gansey intercepts that back shot. Now Gansey's going to fire towards goal and put it right on through. So Grant Gansey picking off the backside of Michael Kaye and putting another one right on through, and Grant's first goal of the game.
Yeah, set it up here, and that's going to get the equalizer 5-5. So we have a set of fives here in the fifth chukker, and more importantly, picking that goal up early here in the fifth chukker. That'll get them back to center. We will switch directions for any of you new viewers out there that were getting a little confused. That's what they do in the game of polo. Started doing that, but basically back because the Indian Army actually used to play in the afternoons, and their fields ran east and west. They didn't feel it was fair for one team to look into the sun for a whole chukker, so they started switching directions. That's where it all starts, but that's a procedure we use today and all over the world. Here's Nikki.
Roldan sets the shot right downfield, and that ball is intercepted just a little bit there by Tomacho and allows Nito to come in and turn things back around on that gray pony. And Nito scoots on by one Casablanca player, couldn't quite keep the ball going. And Michael Kaye coming in there, sending it further along. Grant Gansey told to leave it by Nick Roldan, but it deflects off a pony, allowing Teo to pick that ball up. Teo centering over to the boards. Nick Roldan coming in there on the near side, sending it back over towards the center of the field, trying to get by Uranga. Roldan checks down just a little bit to allow that ball to settle, and now at wide speed, he's going to hit a long ball. Mark Gansey was anticipating the play and jumps out front of those white jerseys. A lofting shot right there by Mark Gansey, and we saw this play last chukker. Mark Gansey on the prowl right here in front of goal, checking things down on that chestnut pony, fires a shot towards goal and right on through. So Mark Gansey once again, Casablanca going from coast to coast and putting it through the uprights in the goal post.
Oh, putting the butter on the toast, Steve. Don't forget about that, because I'm getting ready for lunch here. And what a run here by Mark in a sensational finish. Not an easy finish. The approach shot was a little bit to the right, so he had to finish with a neck shot at full speed. But well done on the chestnut pony. The Travieso owning the fourth chukker. Now Casablanca seems to be owning the fifth chukker. Here's Nito.
Uranga. And Dale, be careful about staying lunch. Troy Webster will be up here wanting to take us out again. So right now, Grant Gansey, he's going to turn things back around in that corner. Picking up Uranga's shot. Gansey has time to check down. Take it back underneath the pony's neck. Tomacho Pierre is back there with him. Tomacho has to give him the next play. Mark Gansey right down in front. Grant doesn't get the whole ball right now, and Tomacho sends it back over. Grant Gansey, we could hear him hit that mallet out of the air.
Wow, good D. That ball goes all the way through if he doesn't get it done, and Nick's going to turn the defense into offense, and here comes Melissa.
Melissa looks over her shoulder and now lets that pony stretch on out. Oh, unable to make contact. Tough luck right there. And now Tomacho. Tomacho in the center all by himself. He's got two white jerseys downfield. Teo breaking downfield, and he's going to leave it for Nito. And Nito sends a shot well downfield. Grant Gansey and Teo come together. Teo jumps out front with the next shot, unable to get a good shot off. And Grant Gansey turning things back towards the corner.
Yeah, good read there by Grant. Just they come together. They're a nice ride-off by Teo. But that's going to go ahead and get another courtesy change here. And I like this whistle, as we will have a fair play bowling when we return. Another chukker where both teams are running over 4 minutes straight. And we talked about it. The Preakness was running, and what they ran in like two. What they running? They running in 2 minutes or 2:05 or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, it was right around there. We talk a lot about horse racing in the game of polo and the courtesy change. And, the horse race, the longest horse race is the Belmont. And that one is only run in 2 minutes and 25 seconds. And that was, of course, you know who.
Yep.
Secretariat.
Triple Crown winner.
It's amazing that we haven't seen anybody compare to Secretariat. It took 1973. She set the records. And you'd think you would get faster.
Shows you that he's one of a kind.
Unbelievable. Yep. Unbelievable, man. The horse sets the records in 1973. He broke every record in 1973, Kentucky Derby, Preakness, and Belmont. And with all of the technology and horses and the ability to clone and the ability to get embryos, they haven't had the ability to get a horse to take over Secretariat's record.
No, and unfortunately, the thoroughbred racing industry does not recognize cloning, embryo transfer, or artificial insemination.
Yeah, that makes sense. Makes sense. Makes sense.
Live cover, and nowadays a lot of those breeding operations are filmed, so they can prove to the owners that the mare was covered. And
yeah, but they still got the same daddies. Their mama still got all that going on. They just haven't been able to get it trained. What, maybe the training change different? No. I think that would get better. The feed, the stuff they can feed them. Your dad's a vet, Steve.
Yeah, maybe the footing. You know, nowadays there's a lot of synthetic footing on these racetracks that there wasn't back in Secretariat's day.
I gotcha.
And, there at Del Mar, they've had a problem with the footing. And also in Louisville, just for the Derby, there were some horses that were injured out on the track in training.
Big time. You got to keep that right, because that's why we take care of these fields. And we talked about the four-legged athlete. You must keep the four-legged athlete, under very, very healthy. And you need to have safety put in place. Now, they said that, I'm going to ask you this because your dad is a vet. They said the Secretariat had a larger heart. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, they actually did. And I think the lungs were just a little bit bigger, too.
Lungs was a big horse.
Yes.
Very big horse.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I see babies of Secretariat that were not as big as Secretariat.
Right. Now, I don't know what his stride was, but they say the average stride for a thoroughbred pony is 18 feet.
Yes.
So, which is about the length of a car.
Yeah, I did recognize that. That made sense. Very big horse, big stride, big heart, big everything. Big money that year for the owners. Man, what a dog. But that's a lot to do with it is we talk about the time. You know, when you have the biggest horse races in the world and the longest one is 2 minutes, 25 seconds, one polo chucker 7.5 minutes. Hence the Kersey change. And like we said, we've seen so much. I'm just going to give it up, man. Well done, Melissa Gansey. Because she is the innovator. She's the visionary behind the Kersey change, and it changed the game, man.
Well, she thinks outside the box, and, that makes a difference when you're the leader of certain situations and bringing new things into the game, the sport, for whether it be on the field or off the field, for the ponies or for the players. And, like you say, innovator, probably a good word.
I talked to a lot of people, even at first house, it was a little weird for me. A lot of people didn't like it because it takes time here and there. But when you start watching the game, you notice less fouls in the game. More than that, we got to talk to Darren Tamplin, who's involved in the our in-horse veterinarian, who looks at 100 Sugar Man right here. Guys, put your hands together for Sugar Erskine, everybody. He's going to be performing on field 1. He's always so entertaining. We always like to see Sugar. We got a little tack adjustment there, so we want to make sure that Teo's okay. Looks like Teo's going to make his way back out. So always safety first for all not just the four-legged athletes, but we do want to take care of the two-legged athletes, of course. Very important. So it looks like we got Teo ready to rock and roll, and this is where things usually go pretty interesting here. 3:37, Steve. 1 goal difference. Everybody on fresh horses, get ready. This should be fun.
Here we go. 1.5 minutes left here in this period, and Grant Gansey will put the ball back in play. A fair play bowl in for the Casablanca team as they were in possession when the whistle sounded. No foul occurred, just the horse change, and now Gansey's pass falling just a little bit short, and that's going to allow Teo to come in there. Gansey couldn't quite get the near side shot off, but now deflected by a pony, and Nick Roldan coming in on his bay pony, and now hits the long shot downfield, but not quite the shot that he was looking for, so he's going to regroup, looking for Melissa Gansey. Mark Gansey well out front as well, and wow, what a shot. Nick Roldan reading that play well. So does Nito Uranga. Nito taking the danger out of the play, allowing Mark Gansey to jump in up front. Gansey over in the far corner, and he's got to turn it around or back it, and he's going to turn it around underneath his pony's neck. Giving way is Uranga, and now Gansey just slowly working that ball back towards the center with a little bit of a shot right over to Roldan. Roldan on the bounce, and a shot on goal just a little bit wide to the left-hand side.
Yeah, bad luck there as they applying the pressure. Travieso, they had the ball down on their end, and then Casablanca working it up, but now they have control here. 2:26 on the clock. Perfect timing here. Big knock in, and they got Teo going forward now. Michael's going to go to the inside. Teo off the boards perfectly. Jumps the boards there cleanly. And I thought they thought maybe that ball was stuck there. So we'll see. We get a whistle on the play. They'll stop the clock with 2:11. And when they came in there, just bad luck. And we'll see what would happen if they got a broken ball or something.
No, it got stuck there on the board.
Oh, underneath. Okay, between the boards where they connect.
Yep.
So you're going to get a fair play bowl in or a bowl in?
We're going to get a bowl in.
Straight bowl in here. Oh, so wow, this just is a big advantage here for Casablanca. Just bad luck for Travieso as Teo was on the move with Michael in front, Steve. And here we go. Oh, man, shoes on the other foot.
Yes, sir. Nick Roldan, Mark Gansey, he didn't waste any time getting away from that bowl in, and Nick Roldan saw him downfield, and now Gansey with a nice approach shot, and what a play right there. Mark sending it right on through, and the crowd goes wild.
Yeah, Cole Rod, and that's just bad luck. You know, this is the game of polo for you. If you watch a lot of games, poor Travieso on the breakaway. The ball gets stuck in. Well done, Casablanca wins the bowl in. Nicky gets the ball running to the north, and everybody falling in, and now you're seeing a full four-player rotation by Casablanca as Melly's now rotating around into the game, and we saw her on Friday control the ball 2 or 3 times and get 2 fouls. So you got to be careful of that switch. And away we go with Grant looking for Nick, picked up by Camacho.
Pierre is with a tail shot and picked up by Roldan, and now Nick Roldan turns it back towards the inside. Unable to keep it going. And Uranga says, hold on there, I'll back you up. And Uranga trying to get around. Grant Gansey left for Camacho, and Camacho sends it over to the center, but that pass falling just a little bit short. Nick Roldan slows things down, trying to buy some time to allow teammates to go down the field. But Camacho, he's going to go on back. Camacho. That ball is going to travel over the back line, so we'll have a knock-in by Camacho, and the horn is going to come. I don't think we'll get this bowl in. So that may end chucker number 5, and the umpire calls play. But the horn is going to go before the ball is hit, so chucker number 5 is complete. And stay with us for the 6th and final chucker of regulation play right here on CTV Sports. Welcome back to CTV Sports and the Grand Champions Polo Club. Getting ready to start chucker number 6, the final chucker of regulation play between Casablanca and Travieso for the final of the Eastern Challenge Cup. Casablanca in the pink, Melissa Gansey, Mark Gansey, Nick Roldan, and Grant Gansey going up against Travieso, Michael Calle, Nito Uranga, Teo Calle, and Camacho Pierres, and Casablanca out front by 2 goals.
Yeah, you got there 2-0 after the first chucker. Travieso came out on fire. Michael with 1 goal, Camacho with 1. And then Mark and Nick scored 2 unanswered goals in the second chukker to make it 2-2. Then a goal by Mark, 1 more by the Cobra, and another one by Teo, an open goal penalty 2. It was 3-3 at halftime when they went to the tent. Then they came out, and it was all Travieso. 2 goals in the fifth chukker, 1 by Nito, 1 by Camacho, and then 1 by Melissa. Made it 5-4, but fifth chukker action was all Casablanca. 3 unanswered goals, 2 by the Cobra, 1 by Grant Gansey, double G, and they were unanswered. So that's why you get this 7-5 as we go into our 6th and final chukker. But do I need to remind you, Steve Lane, that Theo scored 3 goals in the 6th chukker the other day, so he's mounted up. He's ready to go.
Yeah, both of these teams come from behind teams, but, 3 goals there in that last period of play. So Casablanca edging out Travieso when it comes to the second half, 4 goals to 2. But right now, 7-5 on the board.
Yeah, I got a feeling they're going to keep an eye on Teo. For some reason, he's mounted up here, or his favorite horses must be in the 6th chukker, because he was just fabulous on Friday, man. On Friday, they could not stop Teo, and that should be a focus for me. If I'm coaching Steve, I'm saying keep an eye on Teo this chukker. Don't let him get out in front. He seems to be ready to rock and roll on those horses. So, and the Casablanca team, they actually, against Sebucan, did not score any goals in the 6th chukker. So, Travieso scored, as we said, they were just unbelievable in their game, scored 3, and they all were tails. So here we go, 7:15 on the clock, and a 2-goal lead is going to be controlled by Travieso.
Nito Uranga on the ball right now, allowing his players to go downfield. Buying a little time, Camacho Pierre is back. Michael Calle and Teo Calle down in the offensive position. That pass falling just a little bit short, and Mark Gansey sends a pass over to Nick Roldan. Nick Roldan reaches back, picks it up, tries to reach Melissa, but that pass is going to fall just a little bit short too, which allows Camacho, who's playing with his head on a swivel with a tail shot, not quite reaching Teo Calle, and a back shot from Grant Gansey, allowing Melissa to get on it. So Grant Gansey passing to Mom Melissa. Melissa couldn't quite keep that ball going, and Nito Uranga picks things up. He's got 2 players up front fanning out, Michael Calle and Teo. Grant Gansey elects to turn the ball towards the inside. And a whistle on the play right there. So a little bit of a riding into the shot, Dale, and we'll probably have a spot hit in favor of Casablanca.
Yeah, and I'm actually applauding this because I think that Travieso needs to get a little more physical here in this 6th chukker. This 2-goal lead they need to be careful of. Casablanca's been using each other very well. They're staying to the same game plan with Melly way out front. So now you got to have them back your head. So, it's not a bad foul here. Teo just being aggressive, riding in from behind, as you said. Good call by the mound official. They're not going to move the ball. The ball's going to be right there at the spot. So, hey, I like this. Flip a coin. Let's go. Let's get it going, man. It's the final.
You betcha. And we've got a big ball hitter right there with Nick Roldan. Hits a shot well downfield. But Teo Calle riding with Mark Gansey and left for Camacho Pierres. And Teo comes back and gets that ball and leaves it for Camacho. Camacho sending the ball back up to him. Here comes Nito Uranga and Nick Roldan. Uranga leaves it up for Roldan. Roldan able to beat Uranga to the play, and now with a cut shot, unable to handle it, but followed up by Grant Gansey. Grant Gansey is not going to waste any time. He's going to shoot for goal from 73 yards out, and that ball is going to be wide to the right.
And you know what they say, the clock goes tick, tick, tick. So that's going to help. I got to interview Grant yesterday at Nasado. We had at beautiful Santa Rita Polo Farm, and that's one of the plays I thought he's been doing very well in the spring. Nick misses. He takes the ball, controls, hits one a good 100, 120, goes out, but a great safe play.
Right now, Camacho Pierres coming on through. Teo Calle right there to his left as well, and Pierres sends one down the field, but nobody there. That pass not going to make the grade as Grant Gansey brings it to the near side of the field. Over in the corner, that ball up against the boards, and
Another play there, said there, Steve. This is another good play. Here he takes it out of bounds. Still, remember, time is at the essence here. Travieso Grant is powdering the ball back and forth across the field, and it might get out of the Melly.
And it does, and Melly on the near side flips it over to her offside, and now look at Nick Roldan going down the field for the pass, but Tamacho breaks things up, hitting the ball on the bounce on the offside. Grant, a one-time back shot. Nick Roldan able to meet it, bring it on back, going the wrong way, but the clock is still on his side with 4:23 on it, and Nick Roldan now trying to get around those white jerseys. Teo Kaye's got no play right here. He would cross the right of way for any new viewers, and Nick Roldan sending it down, and that ball over the back line. So we'll have a whistle right here where we'll have our final courtesy change in regulation play, and umpires say, hurry up, folks. Change your horses now if you need to. Still a score of 7-5 in favor of the team in pink, Casablanca. And, of course, they won last week, the Casablanca Cup as well. That team the same, with the exception of Mark Gansey taking the place of Riley Gansey. So Melissa, Grant, and Nick on that winning team last week, and now looking to go to the trophy stage once again. So all players will go off and get on fresh ponies, and we'll be back with 4:07 on the clock, and we will start with a knock-in as that last shot off to the right-hand side.
Okay, what are you talking, Coach? What's the game plan? We're going to go 4:07, 2 goals down, control. These horses have been the top horses for Travieso, and so Travieso's coming out mounted here. These are going to be 4 of the top 4-legged athletes that they ride. Perfect timing to bring out the good ones. We call them machinas in the game of polo. That's a machine, and then when you say machine, that thumbs up because they are just so good. They almost act like a machine, but they are living animals, and, to get them right every day and make them prepared to do what they do out here, it is a challenge. So they're going to see here, Steve. I think Travieso have time here to get a little game plan together. In hindsight, Casablanca has done a great job moving the ball around the field and kind of just killing the clock a little bit here, using their long ball. They got Melly doing her thing still out in the front. Rotation from the 3 amigos, Nick, Grant, and Mark. And that's working very well. So, I don't know, you think you're going to see any changes here for the Travieso team? They haven't had the opportunity to get Teo loose. And I think Casablanca's been watching that, keeping an eye on them.
I wouldn't be surprised if you see Michael and Teo take some man out and allow Tamacho to come through and do things by himself.
All right, they got to adjust. They got to adjust a little bit because they know Teo scored 3. The problem with scoring 3 goals is you're the king one day, and then everybody wants to kill the king the next day. So Teo going into the semifinal there, scoring the 3. Now he said, we got get the easy game plan last night for Casablanca was we got to keep an eye on Teo in the last chucker.
Yes.
And that's going to hurt him. It's going to make it harder for him to get away. So they need to adjust something. They got to come up with some other plan. So we'll see what they do here. The 3 amigos right there in front of you, Grant, Nick, and Mark, got their game plan on because they've been talking the whole time. Melly, she's going to stay out there, so you have to be careful because all Nick and Grant have been hitting the big ball, and when the Cobra gets loose, he's been flying by, guys. So they got that going, but here they come. Looks like Michael's going to be on the gray. He gets a lot done on this little gray pony, and it's going to be Teo on the bay. And I love the bay pony. I watched this one play. He gets a lot done on her. 2 goals on Friday. Michael moves and grooves. A little ducking and diving, bobbing and weaving type plays on the little gray. He seems very comfortable on it. Not a big horse, but gets a lot done. Here we go. They're going to have control, and there's a lot of time on the clock. 2:05. This is going to be a great finish.
They need to score right here as Tamacho sends it back over to Teo, and Teo going to allow that ball to settle, and one-time shot right along the boards looking for Nito Uranga. Nito, he doesn't waste any time either, but he's going to lose the play. Mark Gansey takes a swipe at it. Nito on the near side out of the air, and Mark Gansey on the near side as well, coming back to it. Couldn't quite keep it going, and Teo calling for that ball, but Nito Uranga has plenty of time. He turns it around, now sends a shot downfield. Look at Teo take a man out, and a whistle on the play.
Oh, Man, Michael dropped on that. And that ball did come off a little bit on an angle. Once I said, I told you, Michael Kaye, very comfortable on the little gray pony. Gets a lot done on this horse, and that goal looked like it went through, but we looked like they had a whistle on the play. So, yeah, from up here, they're going to come up and they're going to ask the second man. And we're going to check this one out because from up here, that play might look a little different than it does down in the field. Remember, one umpire on the field, angles are big. So we have a conversation going on between our mounted official and our second man. I'm a third man, so they'll ask me if they want my opinion. And as they come here, so that ball went through the goal, though. So if it's no goal, if it's no foul in the play, the goal should stand. We'll count the goal on that play. That should be a goal, yep. That should be a goal. Good sportsmanship there by the Casablanca team. We like that. Everybody put your hands together. Now, let me explain that to you. When a player shoots the ball and they blow a foul on a player when he shoots the ball, if that ball goes through the goal and they say no foul, then the goal counts. So our umpire on the field, he wasn't 100% sure. He went to our second man, Steve Lane. They came to me, the third man, and we both agreed that it was a clean play, that Michael did not foul. So the goal count, Travieso, 7-6. Oh, man, we got a game going on here. Steve Lane, this is going to be an accelerated finish here with 3:25 on the clock. Here comes Nick.
Rolled in, winning that bowl in, and now takes it over to the right-hand side. Grant Gansey holding out Nito Uranga, and now Nick Roldan sending it back up the field. Tomacho Pierre, as that ball goes by his right boot on the offside, and now Tomacho turning things around. Mark and Grant back there as well, but he's going to navigate right between the two of them, and Tomacho sending it back over to umpire Dorniak, but Tomacho going to stay on that ball, and he's flying down the field. Grant Gansey staying with him as well, and now Grant Gansey on the offside. Going to come in, turn that ball back towards the boards. Clock winding down. Now Roldan. Roldan comes around in behind Tomacho and Grant Gansey. Roldan staying out front. Time winding down, not on the side of Travieso, but Nick Roldan on the near side gets that play going. Nito Uranga coming with Nick, and Nick Roldan checks down, looks over his shoulder, takes his man wide, comes back to the ball. Tries the near side back shot over towards the center of the field, and Uranga coming in to try and break things up, but Roldan wins that play and sends a shot straight towards goal. Look at Melissa Gansey, right out Michael Kaye, and Melissa takes a shot on goal just off to the left of that left-hand post.
As once again, no positive play here by Casablanca. Nick Roldan just demonstrating the highest level of polo right here in front of you. That's just amazing stuff right there. But Melly doing a great job to finish his play because they take another 8 seconds off the clock.
Yes, it certainly does. And now Michael Kaye sends one downfield, and Grant Gansey coming in there. And Michael intercepts the back shot of Grant and told to leave it by Tomacho. And this is where we said Tomacho might try and do things on his own, but bad luck right there. That's going to take 13 seconds off the clock.
Oh, man, the clock goes tick, tick, tick. That can be the problem in the game of polo, but 1:25, mucho tiempo, as we say. There's a lot of time left in this game. You might see 2 or 3 more goals scored here between these two teams. They're going to have the opportunity. Here comes Roldan.
Nicky with a line drive back down the field, 134-yard shot. And Grant Gansey coming in and sends it right through the post. Wow. Back for that 2-goal lead. So any questions about Casablanca coming on strong? You just got your answer.
Wow. That's all I got to say there. Nickaroo hitting the ball, driving it deep, and now you see a full rotation by Casas. Melly's working in the front. Cobra's working in the front. Grant just drops the hammer, and that's how you cover 160 yards in less than 3 seconds.
You betcha. And a whistle allowing a player to come back. Umpire Dorniak sees Grant. Took a lot of time to go around and don't want to penalize.
Good whistle. I like that whistle.
Don't want to penalize the white team.
I like that whistle.
So now the ball back in play, and Travieso, the first horn coming up with a 2-goal spread. So should Travieso score here, that will end the game. But right now, a 2-goal difference. Michael Kaye on his last run right here on that gray pony. And Michael Kaye is going to finish the day with a goal at the north end. So a final score of 8-7 in favor of Casablanca, champions 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, way to finish, man. That just shows you the way the Kaye family are. They played a pole that they played to the end. Once again, everybody put your hands together for Casablanca and Travieso. Doesn't get any better than that. Any fouls? Do we count one or two?
We had one. We had about 3 fouls, but only one open goal penalty.
Only one open goal penalty. Tail put down away. We love to see that type of polo. Once again, Gaston Dorniak, my man. Well done. Higher level umpiring right there. Yeah. Put your hands together for Gaston. What a job he did all season long. That's not an easy job. Trust me, I know I do it. So it's one of those jobs you need to really work at. Well done, though, everybody. Come. Nito, we love you, man. Been fun watching Tomacho and the Kayes. Put your hands together for Theo and Michael Kaye. Father, son, Wendy, congratulations. Close one. But Melissa Gansey, Melly, you love you, baby. Well done. Cobra, you did it well, Cobra. 4 on the day, and 2 of them at full speed. Nikki, you know what? You're hitting it perfect. 3rd, and Double G, you go up every time I see you, my man. Always playing at a higher level. Great game. Congratulations to Casablanca. We're going to go ahead and get ready for our second game today. We have a doubleheader just for the thrill of it. So once again, I want to thank you for joining us here at CTV Sports, everybody here at the stadium. If you'd like to stay around, we will be flipping around and going to Field 1, as that was on Field 2. So for Steve Lane, I'm Dale Schwartz, and I speak for everyone at CTV Sports when I say thank you for making us the leaders of polo broadcasting. And always remember, at CTV Sports, we love the polo.